My next guest takes on Kenny Licea coming up here at Victory FC 59 on December 16th. It is Austin Vanderford joining me here on the program for the very first time. Austin, how are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Glad to be on this show and excited to fight on the 16th.
I'm glad. I like the energy already, man. We're off to a good start. And, of course, you just got done a workout today. What's sort of the plan for today? How does your day sort of shaping out?
Yeah, well, part of the reason I'm in such a good mood is I'm sponsored by Legion, and they got this awesome pre-workout. And today was a double scooper middle of the week, so I was a little tired. And today typically we'll do our morning strength and conditioning workout, and then a little bit later on in the afternoon we'll go to Muay Thai, and then right after that we'll hop back over to our main gym and do our MMA sparring. But we kind of got a little bit different of a week. There's a seminar going on at Gracie Baja, so a little bit different, but we'll hit our Muay Thai and then probably hop over and do some jiu-jitsu tonight. So
excellent. Now, when I was doing this, when I knew I was doing this interview, I did a little bit of research and checked out that obviously you grew up doing wrestling. When did you sort of make that transition from wrestling to mixed martial arts, and how was the transition? Because I hear that the base is always, if they say you're doing MMA, the best base is wrestling. Yeah.
So my family's always been like big UFC, MMA fans and stuff. So all through, I started wrestling when I was like 4. So I'm from a small little village in Alaska, and so really the only thing to do was sports, and wrestling was the one that I loved the most. So just kind of growing up, everyone would watch it like, man, once you're done wrestling, is this what you're gonna do? And I always kicked it around a little bit, and then I started to hear it a little bit more when I was in college, and because I think my style kind of translates over to MMA a little better. I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do. So I finished up my senior year and coached a little bit, and then jumped into it and just been running ever since. So
and I'm guessing you ended up in Oregon just because you went to school there, did you not?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I wrestled down at Southern Oregon University, and so we kind of had Alaska kind of had a good pipeline with the school there, Coach Ritchie, and so I didn't really get recruited to SOU when I was coming out of high school. I had some different offers, but kind of last second, I was like, I think I want to go to SOU, and I went and visited the campus and walked on my first year, and then eventually earned close to a full ride and all that. So, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, because you haven't left. I mean, you've stayed in Oregon, which is great, and I'm sure the weather's a lot better than it is in Alaska, and all that. So that's a huge plus as well. You mentioned being a fan of MMA. Who are some of your favorite fighters when you were growing up, as far as influences and things like that?
Yeah, well, coincidentally enough, Chael Sonnen.
Nice. Probably because he's watching this, yes. But
yeah, exactly. But that was the first time he fought Anderson. I have some family in California, and the first time he fought Anderson Silva, that was the first UFC fight I'd ever been to, and my stepdad was a big fan, and so we went and watched, and from there, and then. We also, SOU had Rick Story. Rick Story wrestled there, and so I've always followed his career and kind of was influenced by him as well. So,
cool. How did you end up training with Chael Sonnen?
So I started off at kind of a smaller gym down in Southern Oregon, and all the way up until I was making my pro debut, and like I said, it was small, and I knew that. Chael, and they had a good camp up here in Portland, and just wanted to make the transition, and so I moved up here, and I think I've been here for like close to 6 months, 5 or 6 months now, training up here, and I love it. It's honestly, I can't really imagine anything better than being here, so I'm really, really happy, really fortunate, and it's fun to train with Chael, and he's a cool guy. He's an interesting.
Keeps you on your toes, I bet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Now, along with fighting, what sort of pays the bills for you right now, as far as work and things like that outside of fighting?
You know what? Right now, I'm just focusing on fighting, and I'm fortunate enough to I've got some really great sponsors and all that. So yeah, a pretty simple guy, and so yeah, good makes enough money with the sponsors and fighting, and I've been pretty active as far as fighting goes and all that. So
Well,
yeah.
I was going to say, it's worked out well for you, man. You're coming off a big win over Ben Fodor at Cage Sport 47. Fodor, fought in World Series of Fighting, and that improved you to 3-0. How happy were you with that win and with that performance in that fight?
I was super happy because people know his name a little bit, and he had a respectable record and whatnot, and people said he was going to be super tough, and not taking anything away, he was tough, but I kind of knew going into it. I personally, in my opinion, I didn't think he really had what it took to push me, and yeah, so it turned out good. Would always love to get a finish, but to his credit, he was tough, and he took a 5-round beating and never gave up, and so you got to give him credit for that. So, but yeah, great fight, and boost my confidence a little bit, and just felt good. So.
Well, if that didn't boost your confidence, I'm sure getting to sign with Victory FC did. How did this come together? Because Victory, obviously on UFC Fight Pass, you're going to get a lot of exposure in this fight.
Yeah, I got a really great management team, Jenna Sports, and yeah. So after my fight with Ben in Cage Sport, we just sat down and went over some of our options, and because my end goal is to be in the UFC and fighting for a welterweight title in the UFC. So, but there's paths that you can take to get there, and that you have to take, and we just felt like this was a good one, and that this was the best one for me. So, yeah.
And I mentioned off the top there, you're taking on Kenny Licea. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight?
I feel good. I think stylistically, I'm a wrestler, and I to be honest, I haven't watched a ton of his fights. Kind of let my coaching staff do that and kind of break stuff down as far as that goes. But like you said, having the wrestling background and being able to pressure and all that, I think will work in my favor. So yeah.
And you talked a bit there about training camp. Who are some of your main training partners that you've been working with, helping you get ready for this fight?
Man, we got a lot. We got some studs. I train with Chael about every day. We got Ed Herman, he'll be one of my main corners on the 16th. Ronnie Marks, our head coach Fabiano Schurner, and then we got a big group of up and coming younger guys who we got probably 10 or 15 guys who are from welterweight to middleweight, and so we got a really great group of guys. So.
Nice. And how's the weight cut going? This fight's coming up here next week. Everything on point? You seem in a good mood, so I imagine things are good.
Yeah, dude, come out. Like I said, I took the pre-workout a little earlier, so I'm feeling extra good. But yeah, it feels good. I cut quite a bit of weight, but I started a little earlier. My last fight, I kind of let my weight get a little out of hand, a little worse than I would have liked, and made it a little harder. But I'm slowly getting down, and I'm 25 pounds away right now and feeling good. So for me, it's good. I'm in a good spot as far as my weight. So,
how do you see this fight ending on December 16th?
Well, like I said, the goal is to get finishes and finish these guys. So I see it ending in a finish, and I would like to be a first round finish, and that's what I'm always going to push for. And so, but I definitely think I'll get a finish. So whether I knock him out or TKO or submit him. So.
I was going to say you don't get paid by the hour, so it's good to get in another there. Finish if you can, right?
Whether it's 6 seconds or 5 minutes, whatever. So, yep.
Excellent. What's next after this? I mean, I know you're not looking past your opponent here, but you kind of have an idea of when you want to fight in 2018 and sort of map out next year, because this year was great for you. I mean, 3-0, you can't go better than that.
Yeah. As far as next, of course, like you said, I won't overlook this and and that's my main focus, and that's what I've dedicated, the past 6 weeks of my life to. But yeah, we'll evaluate and see how I love to be active, and I'm a fighter who I love to fight. So I love to, I think I've been fighting for, including my amateur career, for just about maybe 2 years right now, and I've had 10 fights so far. And so, so I'd hopefully, get in, take care of business, stay healthy, and then get right back to it. So that's the goal.
Excellent. Now, you happen to be dating a fighter that people may know. I don't know if they've heard of her or not, just a little bit. I think, what's her name? Paige VanZant, I think, something like that. I got to ask, I don't want to pry in too much, man, but, how did this kind of come together with you guys dating and training on the same team?
Yeah, so she came to Gracie Baja just like right before me, and then we have the same strength and conditioning coach as well. So, I moved up here and two good looking people, and just kind of worked out, and everything's awesome. So, we have a great relationship and get to train together, and not very many couples in the world get to go to work with each other every day and train with each other at home and all that. So, yeah.
No, that's good. Like, do you find it makes things easier because, sometimes when you're dating someone and they don't understand, what world you're in, as far as, fighting, it can be difficult. But I guess with you, being able to train all the time, she would understand it just as much as you, especially when you're cutting weight and things like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, she like I said, I had a little trouble my last weight cut, and she was there pushing me, telling me I'm not going to die, scraping me off the ground and all that. So, it helps. And the other thing that is a big help is we can hold each other accountable, and, cause training 3 times a day, you're not exactly pumped to go to that last session all the time. And, but usually, one of us is feeling good enough to kind of kick the other one in the butt and tell them, we got to get to work. So it really does. It helps a lot, and it's awesome. It's a really fun, great relationship and all that. So
you get a lot of, creepy fans no matter what, I'm sure, going at Paige, just because it's just the reality of the situation. It could be any sport, really. You're going to get a lot of weirdos. How do you sort of deal with that with her, just with kind of that backlash and things like that?
Yeah, man, there's a lot of there's some weird shit out there for sure. But, you can't let any of that stuff get, there's going to be, when you're successful or, there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of, all that stuff. And you gotta look past that and not really pay any attention to any of that. And for me, I've got thick skin and I've grown up with, older friends and siblings who, I get picked on, whatever. And so it's not really anything new or anything. More than anything, I just don't like people being disrespectful towards her. So
yeah, understandable for sure.
So what am I gonna do? I can't get on and talk shit to these guys, and because they deep down they know what would happen, and they're just gonna be tough internet guys and all that. So it is what it is, man. But
does that make you in some ways, because I noticed you don't really, you're not too active on social media. Does that sort of make you stay away from social media a bit, just so you don't have to deal with any of that? Because you're going to get the idiots not talking about you as the fighter and talking about, everything else?
No. Like I said, I don't let that, I don't let that stuff get to me at all. And I'm not going to let those guys or anyone really dictate like what I do. And because then they win and all that. So, I get some weird messages. Sometimes it's fun to get on and talk shit back and work on my trash talk a little bit. But yeah, more than anything,
I'm sure Chael's giving you some pointers on that. He knows a lot of trash talk.
Exactly. Yes, I get a lot of good pointers from Chael and all that. So, and then our other teammate Chris Williams, he likes to run his mouth a little bit.
Sunshine, yeah. He just won in Bellator last week.
Yeah, he had a good fight last week. So, so we got a lot of guys on the team who like it, and I always love to tell those guys about it, and we all get a good laugh. So, yeah.
Now, this is normally where I ask the fighter, kind of what he likes to get up to in his downtime. But since you guys are like a package deal, what do you and Paige get up to, as far as like date night and things like that, like outside of training and everything?
Yeah, so we, well, right now, it's cold, but I was telling you about our view. We got a great view of the river right here, and so we'll go down, and we like to paddleboard in the summer and do that. But yeah, we're super busy with training a lot, but yeah, we get to go down. My family lives in Eugene, so we'll go and visit them and spend time with my nieces and all that. And yeah, we love sushi. We go out to sushi a lot, and
it's so good on the West Coast, man. The sushi's way better than what you get in other places. I can vouch for that. So
heck yeah. So yeah, we get out. We just enjoy being with each other and just even being at home and all that. Just when we have some downtime to relax and
what about like Netflix or anything like that? You guys watching anything right now?
Oh yeah, we're always.
So check this out. So if I hacked into your Netflix account and I looked under continue watching, what is it going to say?
Okay, so The Office is and she turned me on to that. I've never I've always been like, but funniest show in the world in my opinion. And then we got this weird little British baking show that I actually really like to watch. So
you admitted that, not me. So that's why I'm laughing. But yeah, that's good.
We'll turn that on right before we're about to go to sleep because man, just something about the British accent just kind of
relaxing. I bet.
Yeah, they're all nice to each other, and so it's cool. But yeah, really that, and then gosh, I think we watched every Shark Tank episode.
Yeah. Oh man, like everyone. Yeah, that's quite the show.
We bust those out too. So yeah.
Do you follow any other sports outside of MMA, or is it just MMA and wrestling pretty much your bread and butter?
Yeah. You know what? If I'm going to be 100%, I'm a sports nerd. I love all sports, and I actually grew up playing basketball and wrestling, which is a weird combination, but. That was how the sports seasons worked out because of the weather and whatnot. So, and then we just grew up watching sports my whole life. So, yeah, so I love it all, man. I just love competition. So, which, is a blessing and a curse. Sometimes Paige and I will, we get a little competitive with one another, but it's all good fun and yeah. So.
Well, I was going to ask you, being from Oregon, if you're a Seahawks fan at all, because that's obviously a big thing out there. But if you said basketball, I'm guessing you're following the NBA then.
Yeah, well, I'm a big NFL fan, and what's funny is I'm a big Jaguar fan, and they play the Seahawks this weekend. So
nice. So you getting some bets in with the guys at the gym?
Oh no bets or anything. But yeah, I don't really like to tell too many people that I'm a Jags fan because they are the best. They're actually having a good season this year, but yeah, I love the Jaguars, and then I'm a Laker fan in basketball too. So yeah.
Nice. And you never checked out any hockey when you were in Alaska, were you? I have to ask. I'm Canadian. It's just mandatory.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? If there would have been hockey where I was from, I would have played hockey for sure. I think hockey is super cool, and you get to fight and get to do all that stuff. But no, I never really got into following hockey too much. So.
Good stuff. Well, everyone's going to check out this fight. It's Victory FC 59 coming up here December 16th, live in UFC Fight Pass. Austin, it was great getting a chance to talk to you, man. It was awesome. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs or anything like that, man, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so my Instagram, AustinB170. Go give me a follow, and you'll get to see the life of Austin Vanderford and Paige VanZant. So on there, and like we talked about earlier, my sponsors are awesome, really helped me out. So I'm actually wearing my Gunsmith shirt.
Smart man. There you go. That's the way to plug a sponsor. That's good.
Yeah. So Gunsmith, awesome. They actually some friends from college startup company and whatnot, and so they're really cool. So go follow them, get some of their gear. Legion Athletics, my supplement sponsor. Super good, got me feeling good when I'm cutting weight and all that. Bad Boys hooked me up with my walkout stuff and then CBD drip as well. So yeah, got some good. And then I just picked up PDX Meal Prep. They're hooking me up with some good food too. So.